Welcome to the show. Thank you. Welcome to the show. You are going to be in for a treat tonight. Later tonight in this first half, we're going to be talking about fights. I've done high school fights about 5 years ago. Well, we're still going to be talking about that and comparing that to the Jerry Springer show. We'll also be comparing these fights from the high school fights, the Jerry Springer show, to our fights in our own neighborhood. Even on the streets, even in public places like Walmart, McDonald's, fast food freakouts to where everyone like couldn't even argue about like medium rare steaks, something like that. First up, reverse, you know the drill. We have to get to COVID. So, state of Texas, 6.5 million plus 9.3K. The deaths, plus 93K. The deaths is 83K. In Oasis County, 90,397 plus 70, plus 7. The deaths, 1.4. Deaths is 1433 plus 4, which makes it 1437. Tests, 1.2 million tests tested, 148K positive tests. 12.2% have been positive. Hospitalization is like 78.4. 432 people. 15,624 people in ICU. 24 for at least one dose of the vaccine. 70.5 million. Fully vaccinated, almost at 60. Which is now we're at 17.2 million. A lot good. A pattern is jumping out from Omicron to where nobody gets vaccinated. And it's really good in our local schools. Just yesterday, there were 4 zeros through high school through the junior high. One intermediate student, but only one intermediate student. The rest were zeros, which is good. It means everybody got vaccinated, no one came across each other, everyone wore masks, and all that good stuff. And just today, there were 6, and today, very exciting, 6 zeros, high school through intermediate, but there was one elementary student. The rest were the same as yesterday. Very super. Very, very super. And what's even more super is that more school districts and more cities are limiting indoor masks. I mean, like people say, this ain't March 2020 anymore. There's a lot of vaccines. Every person, including everyone, I do mean everyone. Men, women, children, toddlers, everybody can get the Pfizer vaccine. I mean, look at me. I've been vaccinated twice, and now look at me. I'm still better. But next month, we're about to approach into the second year since the pandemic started. It's like, I mean, that was during spring break. And during that time, it was like, what can we do? Well, what can we do is they invented online learning like Zoom. And a month and weeks from now, a special Give Me a Break about COVID 2 years later. Looking back at tips I've given you, the investigation into Zoom bombing, the governor's mandated order, etc. Look for that in a couple months. But there is some good news for local schools. What they now plan to probably do is not mandate masks. Other than Beeville just doesn't even care. They just issue a mask mandate. That would violate the governor. But they violated the governor's law. It says no school shall vaccinate anyone else because this, that, and the other. It's like, I get it. We all have rights. Everybody has a right. Unlike schools who limit constitutional rights, it's like no one gives a flying hoot about it. They just rather say it's a hoax. The numbers are fake. This is what the numbers are. I mean, this is what is reported. Look at this and tell me you think it's real. Look at it. It's real. You know why? Because this is what every state reports. You could. It's all how you look at it, from Google to New York Times to Wikipedia to what the media tells us. It's like probably everybody doesn't give a hoot about COVID or whatever, but probably everyone else is vaccinated until that time, until we see a peak. Tips have to be followed, like masks, social distance, washing your hands, sanitizing your hands, disinfecting your area. Make sure of it. Try to make sure of it. If we don't, we may end up going back to square one. So again, masks. The main reason why people get COVID is because nobody wears the mask correctly. I'm going to show you right now how to wear it correctly. Like this. Maybe uneven. It works like a charm. You get N95, it works best. If social distance, 6 feet, washing your hands, sanitizing your hands, disinfect your area, your local school. It takes seconds just to wipe down. Transportation, it's the same thing as transportation. Or if you're taking Lyft or Uber, it's the same thing. If you get COVID, get vaccinated and stay quarantined. If you get in contact with COVID, stay for a minimum of 5 days. 5 days. That is the minimum. That's the minimum. 5 days. Medical conditions. Let your doctor know. Let someone else know. Claustrophobic. Let them know. And they don't care? Probably don't care. Probably don't care at all. Let's be safe. Together. You, me, everyone else in Flower Bluff. We can end this by making sure we get vaccinated. This is our first half of Give Me a Break. Later in this, but I'm going to tell you, but I'm not going to give you a little preview. Usually I give you a preview and it's traditional, but probably not. I'm not till the end. Okay, when we come back, a special treat for you. Please don't go away. You are going to be in for a treat tonight for this first half of the show. We're talking about fights, not just high school fights. We're talking about those street fights. We're talking about those fights in our neighborhood. We're talking about those public places where you do fights. Fast food freakouts. It's something you don't want to miss. We're comparing them to the Jerry Springer Show. So, never mind. Let's get to the introduction here. 5 years ago, back when I had long hair. I talked about high school fights. In general, I didn't go through the whole synthesis of this, that, and the other. No, I just basically gave you my opinion about it. It's disgusting, despicable, and I don't even know why kids these days are filming and posting on YouTube for probably like views. But let me tell you, high school was the best for me. Senior year, great. That's another video about your senior year. But now you log on to, these days now, you log on to Facebook, watch the media and all the news, and it goes something like, watch innocent teen get beaten up. And it's like we get it. We see fights these days. I saw a fight once. One time. This was 2017, and a friend of mine, I'm not going to name his name. I don't want to throw him under the bus, but there was a fight going on. It was like right behind me, and I was like eating my lunch, looking at the front and the stage, and it was like, so I was like, what's going on? And it's like, I see a fight behind me, they can break it up. And then, I don't know if you go to school. If you go to school where I go to school here, you throw that first punch, it's SDGC for you. But But what's funny is the reason that these fights are happening, it's always a Facebook comment. And it doesn't ever stop there. All you got to do is watch television and a movie to find out where these fights are coming from. You understand that? These fights happen because they're acting like, it's like activists. Prime example, the Jerry Springer show. That show was #1, but it got canceled in 2018 because Judge Jerry or whatever. And if you think comparing these fights to Jerry Springer, hey, that's right. These fights are real. But high school is like soap opera, but it's not. It's high school's just high school with drama, not filled with drama or anything, but it's what it is. But it's like arguments that lead to, like, you know, medium rare steaks. They lead to your mama, just like, your mama's so this, your mama's so ugly, this, that, and the other. And the other thing, you can understand why these fights happen. You can't even enjoy like a lot of things, like Jeopardy. You ever watch Jeopardy? It's like, understand what the new host is gonna be, like who the new permanent host is gonna be. I'm like, God dang, there's 2 hosts now. Which one's gonna be the best? But if you start fighting, and this is what's gonna happen, it's like almost like crowds. Like, again, Facebook comment, it's like, talk stuff about my girlfriend, this, that, and the other. Let's go right now, man. Let's go. It's like, I don't even want to be a part of it. It's like every time you see a fight, it's like someone going on in the corner right there, and you just walk away. Who gives a crap? A fight in high school anyway is going to result in a suspension, breakup. But the different people like these type of fights, like Shy, a lot of these things, pumped up on steroids, whatever. But the main question I have is like, why is there always like a group of swarming like vultures, like ants and like flies? Every time you come and say, ooh, there's gonna be a fight. Oh my gosh, I've never seen a fight in my entire life before. This is gonna be like the coolest thing ever. But the most, like, what really happens, like these like shirt pulling and it's girls' hair pulling and all that stuff. Minutes later, seconds later, teacher comes, pick it up, boom, spend a couple days, whatever. That's what it's all like. It's like the portrayal of coolism. It's like these threats. It's like all these threats in his head. It's like they get pumped up like, what, boom, hit me that dog. What? It's like, you're not cool because you're in a fight. And there's always people who have to film it, like, and you always like watch these fights like Facebook, YouTube, some fight that happened, whatever. The cameraman always has to like yap or what goes on. It's like, oh, you got it, man. Keep swinging, man. World star. It's like, hush up. You're not cool because you're in a fight or whatever. Your friend's not cool. But what it can lead to, unlike Jerry Springer fights, it's like it's fixed. But I went to school. I know fights and arguments when I see one. It's a real fight and argument. It's a real fight and argument. There's nothing fake about us missing an assignment. There's nothing fake about who cheated on who. It's real. The drama is real. You could fight like you never fought before. Come on, man. Hey, hold on now. You know the security people that go to the fights? That's them. And even a story from years ago, it's like a teacher decides he doesn't want to touch him. So what does she do? She gets a broom and then she's like, break it up. And all of a sudden, she gets wrongfully fired. And then the story broke. After that, they investigated this and said, well, she did the right thing by breaking up the fight because she didn't want to be touched. Because it's like that. And it's like all these things happening. Another student sleeps with another student. Student fight, argues with the teacher about missing an assignment. Unlike Jerry Springer, it's like probably no one cares. It's like you see a fight happen, you know there's going to be arguments going on. It's like you're arguing, and it's like No, I turned in an assignment earlier. I stopped talking. You do not come up to me. You don't come up to me and walk up to you. Hey, wait a minute here. Unlike the same thing for Jerry Springer. That's high school fight narrowing down for you. When we return, street fights. Stay with us. So, we're talking about fights like you've seen on television and movies that lead up to arguments. Is it real, fake, or just acting out? That's what we're focusing on. And now we're focusing on those not the school fights, those street fights like you see out in the street. That's type number 2 of this. It's like you're fighting out in the street, like I think it's the WWF or whatever. It's like you're arguing about like who wants this, who wants that, like businessman like that. It's like you didn't get the spreadsheets I wanted. You're supposed to get it. Let's go, man. You're not cool because you think you're tougher. Like someone's coming down. Like if I wanted to be like someone's high, if I were to engage with like exact liver or stupidity, it'd be down here. Because when you start fighting, you're an idiot. But street fights, however, it's just like out in the street. And then cars are going up like, I'm trying to get to work, hurry up! And then it's like, no, we're not done yet. And then bystanders come in minutes later and just break it up. And same thing, they film it. Unlike Jerry Springer, like, they get swan on. They always get like sworn on. And then that person arrests that someone for assault, this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Police get involved, and all of a sudden, bam. But they don't stop there. I mean, girls like to just put on that fire argument, like, you slept with, like who's better than who, like who's popular than who, and then it's like all the hair pulling and stuff. Explain just the bar fights, the ones that you traditionally see in bars, like the ones you traditionally see. It's like this. I mean, bar fights happen because I don't know why. It's just because it's a bar. It's all we have because like see who's tougher than who's stronger than who, and probably like out of stupidity they drunk fight. He's like, let me tell you what, let me buy you a thing. I'm gonna kill this sucker. It's like I probably don't even know. It's like bartender comes to the fight. It's like you're out of here. And then it's like a contest. It's like a contest. Whoever it's like a contest. Whoever wins is banned. Whoever loses can still come here. That's what it is. That's what it is, like that. And like audience members from the Jerry Springer Show. Which brings us to these public fights. Fast food freakouts. Number 3 in our list. The whole reason why is because it's all about like, he got my order wrong. He's angry at me. He was angry at me. This, that, and the other. I can tell you a few instances where there was this woman who worked at Starbucks was like being rude or whatever. It was in the description, but it was like in the description, whatever. But she was rude to me, like coughing, and she took the straw and she got really like sliced it up, and I was like, yo, call the cops. I was like, who's talking to the manager, whatever. But the other fight I will not remember. This was on World's Dubs number 5, an old show on True TV with how it got canceled. This is at Whataburger. It's like, I asked for a cheeseburger. Sorry, what do you want? I asked for a cheeseburger. Yo, shut up. And he's like, let go of it, man. I asked for a cheeseburger. People end up going to Whataburger to eat, and they end up going to the Springer Show. Especially in sports fights. U.S. Open. U.S. Open tennis. It's like this. It's like shouting profanity and all, and it's like then the father comes in and it's like this. Minutes later, it's like 3 ballers were banned from the U.S. Open for 3 years. That's how it is. But back to fast food, it's like this guy goes, my cheeseburger tastes good. I swear to God, I will blank you on this watch. Don't blank with me. And it's like he moves the pass down, and then Bot Sanders back up the fight. That's what fast food is. It's a lot of freakouts. And finally, fights in your neighborhood. Now, your neighbors are going to want to break up the fight for this one. And if you've ever been in a fight before, if you've seen a fight like this before, you better listen, because this is very serious here. It's like this. A fight breaks out in your neighborhood, and you don't know what's going on, and they start fighting, and it's like, come on, man. Hey, hold on now, hold on. And it probably always leads to arguments. It's like, that's how it is with these fights. That's fighting 101. Basically, all these fights that happen in our neighborhood, and probably in your local school. So if you see a fight in your school, be a bystander, or just wait for security. But don't ever break up a fight with a broom. That is unacceptable behavior. When we come back, I'll preview our second half of the show. Coming up on the second half of the show, a 13-year-old was arrested for a school threat she says she didn't do. She says that someone impersonated her. But there's a twist to that story. The person who made the threats was arrested. Now her mother is suing the school district and Meta, which owns Instagram. A look inside the case and why she spent 11 days in jail for a threat she says she never committed. There's two sides to everything. There's two sides to every story from USA Today. What does she have to say? What does the school district have to say? And what does Instagram have to say? What does the parent's attorney have to say? And what, if any, should happen in the future for this? That's on the second half of the show. That's all for this first half of Give Me a Break Friday. I'll see you back in the studio in a few hours with the second half of Give Me a Break. Follow us here at YouTube. For Flybluff IC and all of us here at YouTube, I'll see you soon. Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.